What's up, y'all? Honestsense here, and today we are going to talk about why I have given up on MMORPGs, and this has kind of been a development of the last year or two. For those of you that do know me, you know I spent the better part of the last like 15 to 20 years playing MMOs. As soon as I discovered them, I was hooked, and I've played like everything under the sun. I remember when I was a kid, my dad said, one day I was going to his house for the weekend and he goes, "I have a surprise for you tomorrow." And I was like, "Cool." And the next day he shows me a list of games and he goes, "These are MMORPGs. Like you go out, you have a character, you go on a journey, you do quests, you level up, you get new gear, all this stuff." And he had me pick from this list of what game I wanted to play, and I picked some like crappy pay to win game back then that I actually ended up spending a lot of time on as a kid because, you know, you're less you're less jaded, you know. So I picked a game called Grand Fantasia. It was a super old anime MMO, and I played this for a long time. And pretty much after that, I would just look for MMO after MMO. I would try new ones. I would get bored. I would look for other ones, or maybe I'd get stuck in one, and then I'd look for more. And to give you guys a bit of my credentials, I've played World of Warcraft, obviously, Final Fantasy XIV, ESO, Shea, EverQuest, Grand Fantasia, Aura Kingdom, Lost Ark, Lord of the Rings Online, Dungeons and Dragons Online, Star Wars The Old Republic, and a bunch more that I'm not even going to name because there's so many. I've played everything under the sun. This is the one area in gaming that I am very qualified to talk about. So yeah, let's get into it. So on Thanksgiving this year, this is actually how I got the idea for this video. Is my dad and I were talking about gaming and having some brewskis and getting real passionate, and he asks me, "Do you think that we're gonna get another MMO that really, you know, blows the whole scene away, like another WoW, another FF14, another ESO?" And I had to think about it for a minute because I just never really thought about it. I don't know why I didn't, but and my answer was honestly, dude, like, no. We've spent the last fucking 15 to 20 years seeing like all this hype for different games coming out. Oh, this is gonna be the WoW killer. Oh, this is gonna be the FF14 killer, and it never pans out. And even when it's good, it's only good. It's never great. It's never amazing. It's never revolutionary. It's never outside the box. There might be a game that adds some mechanic that makes it slightly different than any other MMO, and you know, after 5 hours, you're doing the same shit that you were doing in every other MMO. And for me, I've just done it so many times that I just don't want to do it anymore. There's nothing innovative enough that I just want to do it again. I had a buddy of mine recently ask me about playing a new MMO. And I thought about it and I was like, I don't want to do it again. I don't want to get on the same hamster wheel with a different coat of paint. It's always the same thing now. Like I said, some things are different here and there. Like maybe there's one or two kind of innovative things going on, but ultimately, like, it just feels like I'm stepping back onto the same hamster wheel. Keep in mind, guys, like, if you like MMOs and you enjoy playing them, I'm not here to roast you or tell you not to play them. I totally understand. I've played them for a long time, and any of the games I've talked about here, like, if I attack them at all, I'm not attacking you as a person. I'm just talking about my experience. I've spent so much time playing MMOs and seeing the same coat of paint on just multiple different games, and you know, we see all these new MMOs that have been talked about for years, and they're not done. They're never getting done. Star Citizen is pretty much in development purgatory. Ashes of Creation, hot take here, guys. It looks like a hot pile of crap. The art looks stupid. I know there's a couple like kind of innovative things going on with it, but it looks like the same ball and chain. Like, I was hyped about it for a while, and you know, we still haven't seen too much with it. It's taking 12 fucking years to get it done. And I just don't care anymore, dude. Like, I spent my time, I raided in WoW, I played through MSQ and FF14, and I had a great time doing all that stuff. It was awesome for the first time, it was awesome for the second time, it was awesome for the third time, but after so long, dude, it's just the same shit, different day. Even like, I played Black Desert for a while, and you know, it's real pretty, it's really good graphics, the combat is insane, and I remember when I first played it, I was like, this feels different, this feels cool, and after a while, I just had that same sinking feeling that I was just doing the same shit I was doing in any other game, but in that game, you know. And I just feel like we're not gonna see another game come out that's going to revolutionize the genre, and there's a couple reasons for this. Audiences are not invested in MMOs anymore like they used to be, and if they are, if you yourself are into MMOs, you probably already have a home for an MMO. Like, you probably already play FF14 or World of Warcraft or ESO or whatever you play, you know. And my theory is that for you guys that already have an MMO that you play, that you're invested in, that you know everything about now, you took the time, you spent a lot of time learning how to play, getting good gear and stuff, for a new MMO to come out and for you to not only play it, but abandon your old MMO, it needs to be vastly better than when the MMO you're currently playing hooked you. It needs to be vastly better than that, and I just don't think we've seen that in an extremely long time. And you'll notice too, a lot of the big MMOs right now, the biggest MMOs right now, are MMOs that came out 10 plus years ago. We have not had an MMO in the last 10 years that has risen to the top of the list. Like, you have everybody's still playing WoW, everybody's playing FF14, which if I had to pick a favorite, it would probably be FF14, and I started as a WoW player and probably have a little bit more time in WoW. But you know, people are playing ESO, Black Desert, all that fun stuff. All the biggest MMOs are ones that came out over 10 years ago, because people are just invested already. If there are people out there right now that are still playing MMOs, they're playing the ones that they have continued to play forever. And the other thing too, in regards to the audiences, is the people that played these games, and when the MMO scene was like popping and everybody was going hard and happy about it, and we were getting some bangers every couple years, like, these people are in their late 20s, 30s, have kids, have jobs. They don't want to spend their limited gaming time playing one single game and like dedicating all of it to that. And especially if they don't have friends to play with. And like, for me personally, I'm 28 right now, and it is near impossible to get my friends to commit to an MMO together, or for all of us to be playing the same MMO at the same time. And it's not as fun by yourself. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Like, you're not going to go out at this age and play an MMO solo 9 out of 10 times. And I mean, I think that's a big deal with it, is the audience just isn't there anymore. And like, these younger kids, like, they want to play different games. They want to play like games that are instantly gratifying a lot more, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how it goes now. They don't want to play something that they need to like slug around for 4 days to get a new gear upgrade or something like this. Like, that's not how games are made anymore. It hasn't been for a while. And so like, you have this weird dichotomy where all the people that MMOs were for and the people that loved MMOs before don't have the free time to play MMOs, or if they are playing an MMO, they're already playing one that they got invested in years ago. They already know how things go in the game. They don't want to learn basically the same thing over again, but with different specifics. Nobody wants to do that. And I mean, I'm of the same persuasion with that. I don't want to get on a new game, learn all these new systems, and then after I spend 20, 30, 40, 50 hours getting my character leveled and learning all the systems again, just to realize that I learned the same game that I already know how to play, but just with different specifics. It feels bad to me. And I haven't really played much in terms of MMOs in the last like year or two. I've been playing like Marvel Rivals, more single player games, which I thought I would never do. Like, there was a time in my life where I thought I would never stop playing MMOs. I thought I was going to play them forever. I was like, these games are the best. They have so much replayability. There's so much to do. But now I'm like playing single player RPGs. I'm playing like FPSs. I'm back on Battlefield. I'm back on Marvel Rivals. I'm playing goofy games. I'm playing Vampire Survivors and all kinds of different stuff that if you asked me like 8 to 10 years ago, like, oh, would you ever play this? I would have been like, hell no, dude. I would not play that because it's not an MMO. But man, it's crazy how, you know, your perspective can change over time, and experiencing so many MMOs and experiencing like the same thing over and over, and then it's like, oh well, this new MMO is gonna have this cool new thing, and it's like, okay, and then you realize it's 99% the same thing, and the new thing that this MMO has is like the 1% of innovation. And that leads me to my final point with this, and it's kind of a little bit of a rant here, and just welcome to the TED Talk, guys. Developers are not innovating on the few newer MMOs in the works. Like, they're just adding fancier graphics and some slight mechanic changes, stuff we've already seen. Like, I don't need my game to look like real life. I don't care if it, like, if, oh, it looks so good, it looks so good. Like, yes, it's cool to have a game that looks good and it looks crisp and stuff, but, like, we need real innovation outside of graphics, something like outside the box that's going to bust it wide open. I mean, when you had World of Warcraft back in 2004, EverQuest and Ultima and all these other games were kind of the MMOs before it, but World of Warcraft brought a much more casual approach to the genre, and people really liked this because, like, EverQuest, you would die, you would lose XP, I believe you could lose gear as well, although I'm not 100% sure with that. I haven't played Project 99, so I'm not 100% on that. But WoW came out and it's like, oh, you just gotta run to your corpse, and it was this big world and this new art style, and you had the Horde and Alliance. It was like cut and dry, like you're either Horde, you're Alliance. Like, there was all kinds of cool things going on and innovations that felt fresh at the time because there just wasn't a lot of MMOs. And, you know, you had FF14 with the really good main story quest. It feels like you're playing an actual RPG, but you're playing an MMO, and all this is happening in the world. ESO had some cool stuff, like you could like become a vampire. I believe, like, you had to, like, get bit or something by an enemy or another player in the early times of that. I'm not sure how that's changed. They had, like, all these new cool things because MMOs just weren't super fleshed out. But now there's so many. They all are kind of the same thing now. They all build off each other, and it's okay to take inspiration, obviously, but just through my last couple years of playing MMOs, going back to ones I used to play, playing new ones, I've just been of the perspective that I'm playing the same game over and over and over again, and it's just kind of the worst. And figured I'd get on here and talk to you guys, see if you guys have any similar feelings. Maybe I'm a bit jaded, maybe I'm just burned out, but I mean, I haven't really touched MMOs in a big way in about a year or two. I played a little bit of classic WoW with my buddies early this year, and that was fun, but ultimately, like, same game, different day. But that being said, like, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have MMO burnout? Do you kind of feel like everything's the same thing over and over again? Do you feel like that's not the case? And also, let me know, like, your favorite MMO, maybe a cool experience you had, despite not really playing MMOs anymore. I love hearing all the stories about people having cool stuff happen with their guilds and stuff. I would love to hear any stories you guys have. And that being said, if you like the video, leave a like, subscribe for more content. We got a Final Fantasy 1 Pixel Remaster playthrough going on right now. Follow me on Twitch. It's just at Onasense. Streaming on there a couple times a week at least. And you guys have a beautiful rest of your day.